Good morning, Vlogmas. You may recognise this because I'm sat in the exact same spot as I ended and began the last video because I've just filmed the intro and outro. I couldn't be bothered to put makeup on yesterday, so I didn't, but I have done today. Plans for the day, well, there's quite a few. Get gradually more and more annoyed at the building work happening next door on the shared wall that we have, because that is that's what woke me up this morning. I mean, in all fairness, it was at 10 to 8, so it was a perfectly acceptable time, but I'm still recovering from my cold, and plus I hate early mornings, and I had a late night. Oh, I just flipped myself in the face with my doodad. And then keep drinking my cup of tea. I've got a skein of yarn to dye, but I dye them in 3, so I've got 3 skeins of yarn to dye, because I forgot to do it earlier because I'm really bad. And then I'm going to town and meeting up with Mario because we did the day we did the Independence Trail, you get put in for a giveaway and the businesses offered prizes and you could win them and blah blah blah. Mario and I actually won free coffee and cake, so hopefully they will switch it to tea. But yeah, we're going to go get a slice of cake and a bit of coffee after he finishes work today. And then we're going to go for a drive to a house that has gorgeous Christmas lights. I drove past during my driving lessons a few times, but I never saw it lit up because I always drove past during the day and it was before they switched on the lights and everything. So we are hopefully going to drive past that. I'm very excited. And then that's about it, really. I'm kind of annoyed because I was knitting Mario's hat yesterday and I'm pretty sure I shouldn't have used 4.5mm needles and should have just used a 4mm needle. So I think I'm going to have to rip it back and start it again. Kind of annoying, but I also said that I wouldn't mind if I did that, so I've just kind of got to suck it up, buttercup, and get over it. Quite like this filming angle, because this is just a random pile of knits. This used to be my crafty chat mug, but it got a crack in it when we moved back to the UK. This is bare yarn. I've got a box that I need to unload onto the shelf, but I am very lazy. But yes, I'm going to go, and I've already cleaned the kitchen because I did that whilst I was making my cup of tea. Very organised. So I'm going to get some skeins of yarn on the hob and put all of the footage that I've just filmed into the Vlogmas tutorial. And yeah, I filmed like 10 intros. It was a very awkward video yesterday, but I'm excited to see what you've all made. So I had one order to post off, so that is in the post box. Well, I went to the post office, I went to see Nathan. And then I've got the yarn is now cooking in the oven. It's done the bubbling on the hob, now it's in the oven. I've put together all of the tutorial, I've made the thumbnail. I spent far too long trying to make the thumbnail. Now, this laptop is weighty. Oh, it's just finished compressing, so now I can upload it. I'm really nervous about this Vlogmas. Not this one, yesterday's. Because I haven't posted a tutorial in so long. Ugh, words. I don't know how it's going to be received. I don't know, it's just a nerve-wracking thing, I suppose. Oh, I've also blown my nose quite a lot, so my makeup's all coming off my nose. I love being ill, it's my favourite. It's really not. It's posted! Oh, I need to do a bit of this. No, that's not done anything. Super nervous about it. Hopefully it's well received. Don't know why I'm so nervous. I don't know. Anyway, this is the hat. I started on the chart yesterday, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be too big. I'm just going to set you there for just a second. Now, this is just a ribbing, and therefore it's not very long. But, doesn't feel super snug. It doesn't feel big, but it doesn't feel super snug. So I might rip back and go down a needle size. Where's this hat? This one is super stretched out. Okay, I might be okay. Where's my hat? So this one's mine, and I have a big head too. I don't know if that's just because it's on the needle though. I'm trying to stretch it out as though it's not on the needle. And it's obviously going to grow as he wears it, so I don't really know. Because this one's grown, but then this one I'll be able to somehow block it back to some kind of reasonable shape. It's a really lovely colour though, and I've got my little Father Christmas on it. Keep me company. He's very colour coordinated with me at the moment. I was sitting here knitting away on Maria's hat because I think I'm going to be okay. As in, I don't think I need to go down needle size. And I thought, I could do with a cup of tea. So, it's time for everyone's favourite part of Vlogmas. What's in Hannah's Bird and Blend advent calendar today? It's getting less glamorous. Each time I do it, it's getting more and more frantic and hectic. I've got too many doors open. I'm opening all the ones that I accidentally closed. Today is the 18th. Oh, we got a tea bag. We got a tea bag. Do-do-do-do-do. What is it today? Do-do-do-do-do-do. Banana bread chai. So I do actually have a sachet. I don't know why I chose this tea bag, because I do actually have a sachet of it. It's not my favourite tea, and I don't know why I chose it. I think it's because I really want to like it. I just find, personally, because it's all about personal taste, I personally find Bird and Blend's chais to be really spicy, which means they probably make fantastic lattes. But if I just want to have a normal cup of tea, I don't always want to make a latte at home. In fact, I very rarely want to make a latte at home. I feel like the foundation that I'm wearing just makes all of my wrinkles even extra wrinkly. So this is a rooibos tea with freeze-dried banana in and various chai spices. Nothing beats the blissful smell of banana bread cooling straight from the oven. This warming hug in a mug is spiced to perfection. And I don't know if it's the ginger that's in it. Is there ginger in it? Yeah, there's ginger in it. I'm pretty sure it's the ginger that's in it. It's just a little bit too spicy for me. Maybe that's why I'm a bit pathetic about it. But I have had this before and I've made it to where I like it. But it did require me putting like half the mug being milk. So I might make a different cup of tea and then come back and film some questions and answers. I posted on Instagram and on the community tab here on YouTube the other day that I wanted to do a Q&A and asked for your questions, and some of you have left questions, and I've screenshot the things so I have them all. And so yeah, I'm gonna go make myself a cup of tea, maybe just a biscuit brew, let's be basic, and answer some questions for you all. Ooh, let's find out what you want to know. So I've gone basic with my tea choice and I've gone for a Yorkshire tea biscuit brew. They're just so nice. Have you ever thought about doing some bead weaving classes? And they said maybe at the Wool Monty, and I'm guessing other yarn shows as well. I can't knit on this hat whilst I'm doing this. I can get back on my socks because I put them away. How I thought about it? Yes and no. I'm torn because I don't know how good I would be at teaching a bead weaving class. Doing YouTube tutorials was easier because there's something directly pointing at the thing you're trying to demonstrate. By something pointing, I mean the camera. I'm going to move this. The camera pointing at it. so you can clearly see what I'm demonstrating, but I don't know. I did a few workshops when I used to work at the bead shop, but none of them were ever bead weaving. So I do have some experience in workshops, but not really that many. But I have thought about it. I mean, I won't be able to do them at the Wilmonte because I'm vending there, and I'm pretty sure I might be alone at that one, because it's the same weekend as Download Festival, and Mario wants to go to Download, and my sister might be going to Download as well, depending who plays. So yeah, I might be a Lone Ranger. We'll see. See if I can drag someone else. How did you learn to edit videos? So I do actually have a GCSE in Media Studies. I don't know why I chose Media Studies. I think it's because I didn't really know what else to choose. Nothing else really interested me that much out of the other options. I wanted to do German, French and Spanish, and then I couldn't do that. So then I wanted to do French and Spanish and something else, I can't remember what, and I couldn't do that because nobody wanted to do Spanish. So I ended up doing French and German, and then I did Media Studies because I wasn't interested in doing geography or history. So yeah, so I learned kind of how to edit there, but then I didn't actually do any proper video editing for a really long time. And when I did, well, I say a really long time, I uploaded my first YouTube video on January the 1st, 2008. So that's only 2 years after I did my GCSEs. 3 years? 2 years. But I didn't edit anything for a very long time because I just filmed on my phone and uploaded it. But then I edited in Windows Movie Maker, which is fine, it does the job, and I used that for ages when I first was editing videos. And then it kept crashing and I just got sick of it. And then so when we moved to Germany, I decided to splash out and I bought Adobe Premiere Elements. Yes, Adobe Premiere Elements, and I edit on there. And a lot of it was just clicking around and having to play around. Most of it was Googling how to do something and then just copying it. And then there's loads of YouTube tutorials online on how to use various editing programs. So have a play around, have a click around. What's your favourite Bird and Blend tea? Now, I always used to say Monkey Chops. Monkey Chops always used to be my favourite Bird and Blend tea. But now, I think it might actually have to be Chocolate Digestive. So that's the one that I flock to most when I go. I also love their everyday... I wish I'd had a normal breakfast tea now instead of this. Oh well, it's fine. I'll have one after. Would you ever tackle a boxy sweater? I mean, yes. It's just a lot of knitting. Seeing as how long it's taking me to knit 2 sleeves on a jumper that I was hoping to wear for Christmas that I'm not going to be able to wear for Christmas, I'll take it down to Mum and Dad's with me and work on it down there. But I mean, they're great. Did I try it on? No, I didn't. I saw the one that Amy Florence of Stranded Dye Works made when I went to Unravel in February, and it was glorious. I just don't know if I could be asked to do all that knitting. What's your favourite Christmas song? I've got a few. I really like the Merry Christmas Everyone by Shakin' Stevens. Do 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 ba ba ba. But Christmas Carol wise, I really like Hark the Herald Angels Sing. It's a treat. Oh Holy Night's always nice to listen to. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't listened to many Christmas songs this year because Whamageddon. I'm still going. These are my Wham Cow socks, which is why I held them up. What's at the top of your to knit list? I really want to make, what's it called? There's a few different things. I really want to make the I Am Dragon shawl to the point where I clicked open the pattern and was reading it. Didn't realise it had beads on, so I need to buy some beads to put on it. I really want to knit one of those, but I think it's going to be a bit of a faff, so I might not knit it for a while. My next cast on is going to be the Studio 54 shawl that I think which is by Christy of Young Cafe Creations. I think that might be my Christmas Eve cast on. And I really want to knit the Telegram cardigan. Sorry, I've just had a coughing fit, which is why I look like this. I really want to knit the Telegram cardigan by Becky Sorensen, Soprano Knits, my BFF and love of my life. Because it just looks like such a comfortable, wearable cardigan. I've also got the yarn upstairs to make the Vinterfjell, is that how you say it? Yoke, patterned by Skein Deer. I've got the yarn up there for that. So yeah, top of my to knit list next is something that uses yarn from stash, because I really want to get some of my stash down this year. And yeah, oh, the other thing I really want to knit is a Spellman sweater, and also the no frills sweater. Something nice and warm with mohair would be grand. There's lots, there's lots. Favorite item to knit? Now that entirely depends on my mood, because sometimes I really like knitting socks because I don't actually have to think about what I'm doing. Sometimes, I don't know. I haven't knit a shawl in a little bit, so it changes quite a lot. At the moment I'm very much enjoying having smaller things to work on, because I've got a jumper that's looming that I just kind of can't be bothered with anymore, but need to finish. As soon as I finish that jumper, I will want to cast on another one. I know I will. I just need to like get a wriggle on. What was your motivation for starting TCOC? Teacock, as I referred to it as for quite a long time. The Corner of Craft. What was my motivation for starting it? Well, I was working at the bead shop, I believe. Well, I had another little business before that, and it was called Banana Bracelets, because I was Hanana the Banana, and I made and sold friendship bracelets. And then I thought, one, it's a bit of a weird name. Two, I don't know if I want to be making and selling friendship bracelets anymore, because it's not a very viable business because you can't charge enough for them. But it was, you know, quite nice to do when I did it. It was whatever. And then, yeah. So then I decided that I maybe wanted to start selling things that I crocheted. And I lived with Mario and our friend Matt. Matt was the guy that I was meant to be set up with when I met Mario, but he's gay, so that didn't work. But we lived with Mario, and I lived with him when we first moved in together, because we didn't know how well we would live, how well we would exist together. Fine, turns out. Yes, and my acrylic yarn stash, because that's all I had, lived in a corner of the living room, and Mario made a nice shelf for it out of a cello box. He's a very creative boy. Like a cardboard box that the cello came in. And yes, that was called Craft Corner. And so then that name was taken on Etsy, so I decided to call it the Corner of Craft, thinking I would change this at some point, and I never did. What's your favourite band? I'm going to have to say Queen. I love Queen. I have loved Queen since I was about 14, 15. Love them. Even before 14 or 15, actually. I love them so much. Someone has asked, where does your husband come from? He is English. He is from north of here, north of Nottingham, far away from where I grew up. His voice is, my tea is too hot. His voice is very slightly weirder than mine, i.e. he has an accent. I've sat weirdly on this sofa, so now it's squeaking behind me, so now it sounds like I'm having gas-related issues. How long have you been knitting and crocheting for? I can't do this. How long have you been knitting and crocheting for? I was taught to knit from a very young age. I'm going to say from about 8. My mum taught me, and then I taught myself to crochet when I was in my teens, or refreshed myself because mum had taught me it previously, but I couldn't remember how to do it. And I made loads of amigurumi, and then I got back into knitting when I moved to Germany in 2015 because I saw all the sock yarn, and then I joined a knitting group to make friends, and then I met Becky, and then we fell in love and we're BFFs for life. What's your favourite holiday tradition or activity? I mean, watching Muppets Christmas Carol is a big one. We watched it in our house every year. I've not watched it yet. I'm very excited. Also, around Christmas, my family and I go to the cinema and we go and see whatever film is out. I love that tradition, especially because around where my parents live, there's loads of very cheap old cinemas, and some of them are absolutely beautiful. The Pictodrome in Bognor Regis is so pretty if you go into the massive big screen, because they put, it's just an old Pictodrome, and it's got a stage, and it's such a pretty cinema. And they put Christmas trees up either side of the screen. It's beautiful. Did you say you were headed to Japan? We are. We're going to Japan at the end of April for our honeymoon, and we're going to explore and have a great time, and we're going to plan it after Christmas because it's been a bit hectic here recently. How do you take care of your hands with all of the cuts the bottom off? So I'm going to say with all of the like beadwork, I'm guessing. Cuticle oil is very helpful. Hand cream is very helpful. That does make me just want to put some hand cream on. I always have it near me. I've got it in my bag. I've got several. This one smells really nice. This one my friend Lauren gave to me for my birthday, I think. It's called Flutter. It's from Superdrug. It just smells absolutely heavenly. So yes, lots of hand cream. Cuticle oil helps a lot with like around the nails and such. Helps to moisturize things. I used lanolin salve that Becky gave to me. She bought it when we were vending at Nottingham Yarn Expo 2018, and I use that if I get any calluses. It's also very useful if you blow your nose too much. But yes, just take care of them. Tips for knitting beginners. My number one tip is to persist, and even if you find it difficult, to just keep going, keep trying. YouTube tutorials are super useful, and yeah, have fun with it. Don't think that anything in knitting is scary, because it's actually not, says the person slightly scared of seaming. Makes no sense. I keep coughing. I've got such a tickly cough. Someone asked, what made you get into bead weaving? I used to work at the bead shop in Nottingham, and I saw a magazine there where there was a bead weaving design that I really wanted to try out. It was a bunting necklace. Emma, my friend, taught me how to do brick stitch, told me that I would never stick with it because it's a bit of a faff, and apparently I've just proved her wrong because I enjoyed the faff. Do you make Mario much? No, not enough. I'm very much a selfish knitter, but luckily he has a caring and devoted mother-in-law who is more than happy to knit him things, because he's not like a big guy. He's the same height as me and a bit skinnier than me, therefore he's not too much effort to knit a jumper for. I mean, it's too much effort for me, but luckily Mum really enjoys knitting for other people. What made you start your channel? Ooh, good question. Initially I started my YouTube channel because I thought it would be a great way to promote my Etsy shop. I started with some really badly filmed basic how to crochet videos, and I tried to be as professional as I could be. I had, by that point, I'd already had 5 years experience on YouTube, so I already knew sort of the ins and outs of it, how it worked, and I'd seen various changes that had happened, so I thought, let's get into it. But then YouTube started to be more fruitful for me than tutorials did, and then my shop started to be more fruitful than tutorials, than my YouTube did, so then I just kind of flip-flopped what I did, and yeah. How long does it take to make one stitch marker? Do you use any thread conditioner for stitch markers? I don't use any thread conditioner, not for any particular reason other than I never have done. How long does it take to make one stitch marker? It completely varies depending on the size of the stitch marker. Some are pretty speedy, they can take around 10 minutes or so. Some are less and can take 45 minutes to an hour. The larger ones are ones that I make more infrequently, but I have sort of a pricing, I time every single stitch marker design that I make. So I make it a few times, make sure it's in the brain and I'm not like constantly having to refer back to a pattern. Then I set my timer, I make it, stop the timer when it's done, and then that's how I work out how much a stitch marker is. I use my little it's not really a formula. It's like, this is how much an hour would be, therefore half that is how much half an hour would be, and half that would be how much 15 minutes would be, and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Not sure if this is a bit personal or a bit dull, but I'd love to know if you use an accountant for your business. If so, how did you choose who to work with? I don't use an accountant, actually. I do all of my finances myself. I'm not a massive, huge earner. Therefore, I currently don't worry about VAT. Hopefully won't have to, fingers crossed. I'm nowhere near the threshold. I'm doing A-okay. But yes, because I currently don't have to worry about anything like VAT, I just do all my finances myself. I have a spreadsheet that I use from someone called Paper and Spark. She's got, or they've got, they're a company I suppose, but it's usually just one person that emails you, which is why I say she. They've got loads of different spreadsheets for lots of different things, but that is what I use. And ideally at the beginning of the month you go through, oh the bin men are here, you go through the last month and you sort of sort your, we've got the hiccups now, sort all your finances out, and it tells you how much you, and then you see how much you spent, how much you've earned, how it evens out. Are you going broke? It's a really good time. It's really depressing in the months when I'm leading up to a show and I'm in like minus numbers. I'm like, should have done more updates. Where do you get your ideas for combinations of yarn colours? Well, all of my yarn is dyed in colours inspired by Dungeons and Dragons. So sometimes I just have a play around in a dye pot and then a colour comes out and I'm like, oh, what should I name this? But more often than not, I have a look through the many D&D books that we have, or fan art of D&D things online, and then I sort of dye a colourway based off of images I see there. What's your favourite colour to dye your hair? I admit to being partial to the blue. I'm partial to the blue as well. I love having blue hair. I feel like blue hair really suits me, but my hair is stained turquoise, so I'm trying to get some of the blue, some of that out, so yeah. Right, that's all the questions I'm going to do for now because I've been filming for like 20 minutes or so. I mean, it won't be as long for you because I've had to keep skipping wherever I've coughed. But yes, I'm going to sit and knit a bit more and keep watching Critical Role and keep an eye on the time because I need to leave relatively soon. It's time to go into town to meet Mario from work. He says he's not going to be finished till 3, so I got to leave a bit later. I haven't made much progress on his hat, it's a little bit stressful. So we're back home. We decided to go look at the lights tomorrow because the traffic's going to be really bad. The cake I chose was the sweetest and richest thing in the world, and I saw it as a personal challenge to finish it. Mistakes were made. And then we went to Tesco, bought some bits that we needed for dinner, and then bought loads of bits to be donated to a food bank. So we thought we would. It's Christmas. We've had lots of people affected by various financial struggles or dependent on food banks, so we thought if we could do our bit to help them out, why not? So that was always fun. But now we're back home. I'm feeling quite sleepy. We have gifts to wrap, so I think that might be what we do this evening, seeing as I can't work on the secret project. But yeah. So this is the second time I've done it. I forgot to round off yesterday's Vlogmas. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe and like. Feel free to follow me on social media. Links can all be found in the description box below. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.